Speaking of hoisting trophies.
Which one? Which one are you gonna talk about?
No, we're gonna talk about who's gonna win it this year first.
Oh,
Ooh, that's deep.
I thought you was gonna talk about the trophies, the UConn or the.
No. We're gonna get all that though. We got plenty of time.
There's so many.
Yeah. Hey man, listen.
Wow.
That's why we're gonna talk about this one. We ain't gonna talk about damn UConn right
We'll
now.
get into that.
Just remember, whenever you think you can't,
UConn. Get your ass out of here.
I ain't heard that
You're
one.
gonna throw me a lob over here. And
Wow.
I like an idiot.
I ain't catch that. I'm Cappy got you.
So, final start this week.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, Boston, matchups, players. Who you got?
I have Dallas winning, and I know they're the underdogs, but that's one of the main reasons I got them winning, because they're coming in with a little chip on their shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Not a little, a boulder.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that from an execution standpoint is, Jason Kidd, Missoula, they both do a great job of putting their best players in the proper situations to have advantages and create advantages and get other opportunities for, their supporting cast. But I just think that when you look at the best players on the team and the best players on the floor, I think that Dallas have the advantage in that space. I think that Luka is by far the best player in this series. And no disrespect to, Brown and Tatum, because they're an amazing tandem and they're one of the winningest tandems in all of basketball over the last probably 8 to 10 years. But Luka is that dude. He is that guy, and it's a platform for him to take another step forward. Kyrie, when you think about him and his journey what has happened on the stage and under that umbrella with being with the Boston Celtics, I'm just a guy that just understands how you're fueled by the noise.
Yes.
Immediately when Anthony Edwards said what he said to Kyrie, like, hey, I can't wait to guard him. Kyrie is part of that Mamba cloth.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So he's like, what, you said my name on TV? Like, me? Out of all people you could have mentioned,
I'm minding my business.
I'm over here with my family.
Yeah.
I'm worshiping my God. Like, all praise to the up high. Like, are you over here okay, I'm about to unleash this. So I just think that it's a lot of stuff brewing in Kyrie belly to, let out. Now, from an execution standpoint with Boston, they're going to have to play extremely well, paint touches, Jaylen Brown getting to the paint, scoring in the paint. I think that Jason Kidd is going to have a scheme for that.
Yes.
But the pick and roll is going to be a hazard for Boston.
Yes.
And two of the best pick and roll guys in all of basketball is who?
Luka and
Kyrie
Kyrie.
and
Luka and Kyrie. And I think that if you switch in the pick and roll with Al Horford or if Porzingis healthy and he's back, now you're at a disadvantage because those guys are always going to have an advantage.
Barbecue.
If you try to blitz, it's going to be an advantage as well because they got cutters and they got guys that they're not statues, they're moving pieces. So I just think that that's going to be extremely interesting. Now, on the opposing end, Boston, they're going to try to attack Luka as much as possible, but we saw that on the opposing end with Minnesota, Gobert going at him in the post, Edwards trying to attack him. And I think they had enough reps at it where they just know how to scheme and protect him without him getting in foul trouble. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a competitive series, but I got Dallas in 6.
You know damn well who I got. You know I ain't got Boston.
That man ever take Boston today?
Dallas. I got Dallas.
I do too.
And not only because, you know what I'm saying, because I have what I have against with Boston. My thing is at the end of the day, I love the redemption story. I love the fact that Kyrie, who was in a situation where literally almost nobody wanted him, you know what I'm saying, and Dallas took a chance. People said it wasn't going to work. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that when you got guys like Luka with guys who consider system guys, and the question is always, can you win with a guy who's a system, like a James Harden, a Luka? Can you win with those guys? He handles the ball. He dominates the ball. Well, now he's getting a chance to change that narrative. Right. He's getting a chance to change that narrative. You can win with a guy like Luka Doncic. You can put a guy like Kyrie and Luka together. Oh, and by the way, all the teams that might have passed on Kyrie,
He back.
He back. You know what I'm saying? I love the underdog. I'm an underdog, so I'm always gonna have,
so good,
you know what I'm saying, a soft spot for an underdog. And it's crazy that we call one of the best players in the league an underdog, but Kyrie came from an underdog situation. Boston, Brooklyn, all those situations where he was painted as a villain. We wasn't there. We don't know what the hell happened.
wrong, by
I just
the
saw
way.
him on TV saging and like that. We don't know what the story was, why he was saging in that. But I can imagine there's a lot of devils in there. But at the end of the day, he was painted to be the villain in all those situations. Yeah. So I love to see the redemption story. I love to see him have his day. And I think he deserves it. And once again, he's happy and he's embraced. And I tell people this all the time. It was similar to when we got Jimmy. You have a guy in a situation in the locker room where he just doesn't fit and he's painted as a villain, but all of a sudden you take him out and you put him in a locker room of like-minded guys and places where he's wanted, where he's appreciated and where he's valued. And then you watch the maturation and the evolution and the growth of that player. Kyrie hasn't changed. All these are things that Kyrie possessed. These are skills that he possessed. These are communication skills all these are things that Kyrie possessed. He just didn't feel comfortable bringing them out for whatever reason. He wasn't comfortable in those spaces. He's comfortable now. He's wanted, he's appreciated, and he's growing. You can see it off the court and on the court with his, his situation, like you said. He's sitting at home, all praise to the Allah or whatever, and enjoying his wife and kids and family. And he said my name. So I think Kyrie, for once, he's happy now. And I don't know if he's had this happiness since he played with Bron in Cleveland.
Who does winning a championship impact more? Luka, Kyrie, Tatum, or Jaylen Brown?
Man, I say Tatum, if you ask me, because he's been the golden child since he left Duke.
He got
all the way back to Duke. He's been the chosen one. You know what I'm saying? And, ever since he's come into Boston, one thing about it, two things for sure. You got to be able to hang one up in the banners in Boston. You got to be able to hang one up in the banner. They don't care nothing about them numbers.
No.
Yeah, you could get as many numbers if you want. If you don't hang nothing up there.
Eastern Conference banners don't mean.
No, that shit don't count. Yeah. No, that don't count. You got to hang one up there, at least.
Yeah.
And that's only going to get you about 2 years. They're going to be on your ass again to hang another one. And I think that's what Tatum struggles with. And I think that's why people continue to move the goalposts for him. It's not him as a person. It's not what he's capable of. It's not his numbers. It's literally he's a Boston Celtic. And to whom much is given, as much is required. It's just like being a Laker. You know what I'm saying? In those situations, when you're in those organizations, you look at the Lakers, and I tell people all the time, the Lakers, since Phil Jackson left, the average coaches sit in the seat 2 to 3 years.
It's crazy, isn't it? 2
to 3 years, and your ass is gone because the expectation is to win. Frank Vogel won one in the bubble, and his ass was gone the next year.
Facts.
Your expectations is to win when you put on those 2 jerseys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a loaded question because you look at Luka's situation too. Like the West is so loaded right now. If he doesn't do it this year, there's no guarantee the.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. No guarantee.
How many 50-win teams did Dallas beat?
I mean, all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
So if he don't win it this year, like it's no guarantee he's gonna be back there. Like they had to go through Minnesota. Who else they got? Clippers.
Yeah. And OKC. That's a nice run, boy. That's a tough run.
Hell of a run.
That's a tough run when you look at it like that.
So like when you talk about like the Tatum stuff, the problem with the Tatum stuff to me is I'm with you. Everything you said was spot on. Obviously the East is a little bit easier for them right now.
With all the injuries.
Yes. But with that being said though, like they have a small window too, and this league now is becoming small pocket windows because they can't afford to keep that team together. There's no way.
He has to get paid.
He's getting paid $305 this summer.
Okay, yeah,
that ain't bad, is it?
Yeah. So
listen, I'm with you on that. Let me tell you something. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year and still made moves.
Yeah.
They brought in Porzingis. Yeah. They brought in Drew. Yeah. You don't make those moves unless you're trying to get over that hump.
100%.
They gave Drew a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
They probably got 2 more years.
But think about their
Al
roster
Horford's
right
locked
now.
in.
Yeah.
But Derek White got to pay him.
Yeah.
This guy Drew Holiday, Tatum, like you can't keep paying these guys.
Speaking like an agent. Speaking like an agent now. He's speaking like an agent. That boy know them. He know them books, don't he?
Hey, you see, I'm sitting here nodding my head because I want to elaborate a little more on like the numbers but I just don't want to get caught in that space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna nod my head. And
He's speaking like an agent, man. He know them numbers.
You speaking truth to power, man. But, it's a lot of unknowns.
That's why the Luka one is more like it's interesting. They're both intriguing. Obviously, Kyrie, this comeback story or whatever you want to call it. I don't call it a comeback story because I think they missed. I think Kyrie's always been a great kid.
I'd say proper placement.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep,
proper placement.
That's proper placement.
Damn, this guy over here. I'm telling you right now, Sundays I'm coming.
In the right locker room, right organization, the right time with the right people.
Yeah.
But Drew,
that matters.
Little Drew's always been a sweetheart kid. Like all he does is care about hooping his family now.
Yeah.
The Luka one's interesting because we just talked about how hard the West is right now.